Hi, and welcome.
I'm Z.
And I'm Keith.
And we're going to tell you about the movie that we just watched. But first, a little bit of a heads up.
Some of the movies we watch deal with heavy subject matters.
In order to talk about these emotionally delicate things and the heavy subject matters that we sometimes cover, we add humor and crude language to add some levity and to process our own trauma.
If that doesn't feel fun or safe for you, we completely understand. Please take care of yourself first and foremost.
And we spoil the end of pretty much every movie that we watch.
Now you know. On with the show.
Mow.
Everyone's heard.
Funniest sound I ever heard, but I can't understand a single word. Which is how people describe our podcast. Funniest sound I've ever heard. Can't understand a single word.
That's how I feel about Bobcat Goldthwait in this film.
He's exactly how I feel people describe me as a child. People being like, you were
child?
so annoying because you were just like me. And I'm like, I think you mean autistic.
Yeah, that's the hard thing. I always... It's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a trope.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one thing that I was always hit hot and cold on Tim and Eric's awesome show, great job. Because they did characters that seemed to have issues.
Yeah.
And I know...
Right.
I don't know. And it's like Bobcat.
Bumbleclot.
Whoa. Yeah. Anyway.
One crazy summer. You should follow us on Patreon because if you're not on Patreon, we have really great rates. We do a ton of bonus content. We do like a lobby before.
Guys, it's a whole other
It's a whole other ball game. If you're already on Patreon, I'm sorry that you have to hear this spiel because you know how good it is. You know, you're like sitting there, you're listening, and you go, I already know this. But for those who aren't as blessed as you, I just want to say
$1.
we put so much, not only $1, but you know, that's if I mean $1 a month, that means for $12 a year, you get like 50 something, between 52 to 53 episodes. Because last year it was 53, you know, because we do an episode a week. That means we don't take a break. That means we don't take
jinx it.
a break.
Don't jinx it. Don't jinko it.
Don't Jinko jeans it. And also we do mini-sodes throughout
You
the
get our
year.
unmentionables. You've heard us say this a million times, but man, it's so much content.
It is. It really is. And
it's really a steal. We are not valuing our time enough.
True. But yeah, so if you're, I promise you, like it's not one of those things where we're like, being a patron's great. Like, we're not going to hassle you or like message you and be like, what's up? You know, we're not going to like invade your space. You're just going to get on there.
I wouldn't know how to do that.
Yeah. We're just going to, if you get on there, there's just like tons of bonus content for you to listen to. And like, if you've listened to, if you're not a patron and you've listened to every single episode that we have, at least the last 20 to 30 episodes have like, maybe not that many, maybe like 20, I don't know. For several months now, we've been doing a lobby, which means that there's like tacked on
we
content.
did most of the last season with the lobby.
No, most of the last season, no. I think it was like since September or something.
Okay.
But yeah, like we've for season 3, like for season 1 and 2, which like 2021, I think we did 2 seasons in a year, and then we switched over to a season per year. So whatever. So season 1 and 2, we had our dishonorable, unmentionable episodes for everyone, and then at the start of season 3, we launched our Patreon, and we moved all of our unmentionables there. Like, you can still hear the ones that are like that we did in season 1 and season 2. Like, those are still out
Those
there.
remain free.
But every unmentionable that we've done since then, almost every, we've had a couple that we have released to everyone, but almost every single one that we've done since then is just on Patreon. So like that's like 2 extra minisodes a month, give or take. I think in December we didn't do one, or we skipped on a couple because we forgot, and we had like a ton of things that we were doing, and we did a live that you can also see. Like, if you go to Patreon and you become a patron, you can, if you haven't, even if you are a patron already and you didn't get to see our live, you can go back and just watch it. Like, you can, it's not like the craziest, most exciting thing,
No.
But you can totally,
you can see us interacting with 2 people. One via YouTube.
One via YouTube and one via text.
Message.
It was fun though.
It was.
Anyway.
We started, the first month we did the lobby was July.
Oh shit.
And that was for everybody though. And then we moved it to.
Yeah. And then, August was when we switched over to, because we like to, what do you call it?
Experiment.
No, troubleshoot. No, it's not troubleshoot. Beta test. That's what it is. We like to beta test, where we do something, and then we ask people if they like it, and if they like it, we're like, haha, it's for patrons.
Yeah. So that, you like this?
Well, now you have to pay for it.
But the other side of that is, if you're a patron, we're very responsive, especially right now since there are very few of you.
Yeah.
We're very responsive to any feedback you give us.
Yeah,
so.
if you're a patron and you're like, y'all should try this movie, or like, I would really love this, we try to prioritize it. We try
That
to.
too.
Sometimes we can't, because like certain things are actually like hard to get a hold of, or like not super easy to.
Yeah, there's lots of reasons.
Yeah. And sometimes
it's nothing personal usually.
Yeah.
Usually.
Anyway,
you know who you are. I'm just kidding. There's that's not.
Yeah, right. every single one of them's going, fuck.
What I do?
I don't know what I did.
No.
It's a joke.
No.
So one crazy summer, I was most nervous about this one, because I was worried it was
because of how excited I was about it.
I'm not gonna lie. Yes. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. No, because it's like I said in the lobby. Because
So,
80s comedies are hit or miss.
Plug your ears if you're not a patron for this.
80s comedies are hit or miss.
I think that's
Like,
the truth.
You can like, sometimes they're really
And
good
where's this
and
land
really
for you?
interesting. It wasn't as bad as I feared. It definitely wasn't like.
Let me tell you, the opening sequence.
I wish none of the cartoon shit was in there. I really wish none of the cartoon shit was in there. But I feel that way about all movies with cartoons in them. I don't. It's nothing against this movie. I don't know. It's a discrimination I have. I don't like. I don't like live. I'm interested to rewatch Roger Rabbit.
Never actually seen it. Also, Cool World we should do.
Yeah, that's the one with Brad Pitt, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Boo. Just because Brad Pitt sucks.
Yeah, I've kind of softened up on him.
Yeah, softened up. Well, I used to be like, whatever, he's a great actor. And then, he is abusive.
Oh.
He like hit his kid and shit like that. What? And Okay,
never mind.
Like, the reason why Angelina Jolie and him split up is because he like choked his kid or something.
Oh,
like,
I thought it was just because he didn't bathe.
I don't think she cares about that.
Ew.
Most people don't care when people, I feel like if you're going to be married for like 12 years, she probably didn't care that he didn't bathe for that long. I don't know. They were married for a really long time.
I mean, they were secret agents together. The family that spies together, am I right? Remember that episode of Alias? Anyway,
Hit me.
before watching the movie, I did made reference to Better Off Dead. Turns out, whoops, same guy.
Right. I honestly was like, this reminds me a lot of just like the feel and the tone of it. I was like, it really does remind me.
Well, especially when the animation starts. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't remember any of that. Turns out, same writer, same director.
I forgot that any of that was in Better Off Dead.
Also, same Cusack.
Same Cusack.
But apparently they didn't get along because Cusack was mad about how Better Off Dead flopped. And also I read a trivia that Siskel and Ebert, shat on Better Off Dead, and so two of the fluffy bunnies resembled them. Totally. I assume just because there's a skinny and a fatty.
Also one of them has like a cardigan and a suit jacket, so yeah, for sure, yeah. Oh my god, that's so fucking petty and stupid. Indeed. Imagine giving that much of a shit. You know what? Make the party. Oh man, remember
Imagine giving enough shit to draw that.
I know.
Animate it.
Yeah, and then
put it into a live action film,
and then be like, I'm above it. No, you're not. Or like, like it just like
Savage Steve Holland.
There was an episode of Animaniacs, and this is just the casual fat phobia of the 90s, where they had Ebert. Ebert's the okay.
The local is what you were going to say.
Yes, the one that raved about the Virginia said one thing about the art theater, and the art theater framed it and put it on.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, that's kind of fucking... I mean, the Virginia hosted Ebert Fest.
Exactly, right.
Forever.
Yeah. Right.
Until the pandemic? Or until he died? I don't remember which.
No, until... Still.
Yeah, okay.
So... yeah, okay, Animaniacs. They did an episode where he was watching a movie... he was like getting liposuction.
Jesus Christ.
And it was pumping the fat out of him and turning it into butter that was going onto his popcorn that he was eating. Isn't that so? Doesn't that make you think? Doesn't that just like make you think about like us as a society? It's so similar to those fucking it's so similar to those fucking like those like oh, people do this. It drives me fucking insane. Where people will like, it's like all those like, those intricate drawings that are like someone with like a cell phone, and it's like hooked up to an IV in there. You're like, oh, and they're like, really makes you think is always what it really makes you think. And it's just like someone like popping like Instagram likes as pills or something. You're like, stop.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, and like, they're like, oh wow. And I'm like, oh yeah, isn't it so fascinating that you all looked at this on your fucking cell phones?
Yeah.
When it's like something like Facebook, and it's like posted to Facebook about Facebook being addictive or something, and I'm like, whoa.
I mean, it just proves the point.
I'm so addicted to Facebook that I can't help but post this critical drawing I made of it. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you caught some of it, or you're aware of it, and because it hasn't fully gone away, but like, definitely for people my age or older, I feel like there was a definite, like, into the 80s, definitely in the 70s in film, there's such, and probably the 60s too, like, like you could take any of that type of social critique or whatever and apply it to television.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just the shitting so hard on TV and like, oh, it's the opening of the masses.
My fucking favorite commercial ever. It drove me fucking nuts, and I was livid about it. There was a fucking commercial for like it was like something so stupid, like logs for the, like, you know how you can buy like logs for your fire, like you can get like pre-cut,
like a Duraflame kind of thing.
Yeah. And it was people sitting on their couch watching the fire. It was a commercial on television, okay? A television commercial means that someone was paid to act in this, wrote it, directed it, and it aired and was paid money to air it on television. And they're like, sitting here and staring at this fire is so much nicer than sitting around and watching TV. And then
they spin around and face the camera.
And then the actors turn around and look and they do this. And they scowl at you like you're so disgusting for watching TV. And I'm like, you fucking paid money to shit on people for watching TV instead of staring at a fucking fire. Like, what the fuck?
That's amazing.
I was like,
I love that.
I was
that
like,
is
this
the best
is
commercial ever.
I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And also it like aired like I think I saw it like while I was watching like Conan O'Brien, meaning that they could only afford to like advertise it when it was like so late at night, no one was gonna fucking see it. Like, weird that your company's failing. Stupid shit. Like,
damn.
Dumb. Oh man, fucking dumb. It was so. I was so fucking. I was like, that's so and like. And especially at that, like, I used to hate it whenever they would, like, Conan O'Brien or, like, Jay Leno, they would be, like, they would have people on from, like, TV or movies, and they'd be like, oh, you know, like, what TV shows do you watch? And they'd be like, we don't own a television in our house. And I'd be like, fuck off. Why are you acting? I don't understand this. I truly don't understand this. I'm like, if you are like, oh, that's, like, for, like, poor people. Like, what are you doing? Why?
Yeah, there's a lot of misguided.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to navigate under capitalism.
True.
There is no ethical consumption under capitalism, so.
That's true. I just feel like if you are like, oh, I don't watch movies or television, I just star in it. I'm like, I don't.
Well, I was recently.
I feel like that's so fucking weird. Not to say like, even if you were just like, oh, I don't really like newer stuff. Like, I'm really into like, you know, old. You know, like, oh, I love rewatching like old movies or whatever. I'd be like, oh, cool, whatever, you know. But just to
I
be like,
listen to old timey jazz.
just to be like, oh, yeah, that's like, I'm smart. I read books. It's like, then right, you ass. I don't know. It's so weird. I mean, I'm, you know,
well, and it's one of these things that like, once you dig past the surface, it ends up being probably white supremacist.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Racist or anti-black
for sure.
I mean, maybe not intentionally, but...
And, hey, it could be all three. It could be all three.
Whoa, cabal.
So, yeah, one crazy summer.
It's about all these things and more.
It was one crazy movie.
One crazy...
I like...
Okay,
the movie
real
started...
quick, let me get this out of the way.
Okay.
If I may. Because, speaking of... What?
It's just, you're like, please, God, let me just say this one.
Your Honor? If you please, the court. The only visible people of color in this film are three women.
Who are all black.
They're, seemingly all black, and help for the rich family.
What's even better is they are the help.
Instead.
They are help for the horrible rich family, and they're also backup singers for Cassandra, thank you. Okay. For Cassandra.
He sounded like I was...
No, because I was like, oh, her name is Candace. I kept calling her Candace in my head because I was like, the girl's name is Cookie, and then her name is Candace, which is
Oh, that's
Candy.
why you said Cookie and Candy. I didn't know what the fuck you were talking about.
That makes sense.
I was like, okay.
That makes sense because that's not her name. Anyway, I was like, oh, I figured something out.
That's not her name.
So
they call me Cookie.
So
they call me Candy.
When Cassandra is singing, they're her backup singers, which might be fine. You might be like, oh, she's giving them like, you know, they're dressed as help. They're in maid costumes, like bright pink maid costumes. I'm like, that's not it. That's not it.
Nope.
So like when they're not maids, she's basically pulling a fucking Gwen Stefani. She, at one point, she says, I'm literally half black. Just kidding. She doesn't say that.
And I didn't even know.
I didn't. My dad used to. No.
Once I finally visited Blacklandia, I was like, oh my God, these are my people.
Here.
That's her saying that.
That's her.
That's
Who would play her? She would. Yeah, I'm always like really, it's always amazing to me to like watch movies from like the 80s and see like they really were like, this is a white people movie. Like they don't, it's fascinating. I mean, by fascinating, I mean that people, I don't want to say people didn't care because that's not what I mean. I don't mean like actually like, people in the world didn't care, but like companies, studios that they didn't give a shit. They were just like, yeah, we don't really need to.
Oh yeah, there was no pretense.
They're like, oh, we need a person of color. Let's just put an Asian person in here and make fun of China. You're like,
yeah, right. And probably not even the correct
it's like they're
ethnicity.
Japanese and they're like pretend to be Chinese.
Right.
And
no one will know the difference.
And they were right, honestly. But yeah, like it's so
especially early 80s comedy, I would say.
I will say this. Yeah, this didn't have that in it.
Okay. What?
Right? It didn't have the weird Chinese person.
No, the one Asian character not problematic at all. No stereotype.
True.
The banker. I mean, you could argue that's a thing, but
I do like
his name is Chong. That's his
I forgot
first
he
name.
was in there. Yeah,
Chong.
I forgot. And they do the fucking Godzilla thing.
But he just laughs at it.
Yeah.
It's not like yeah.
Yeah.
So
but he's not doing anything.
he's not doing an accent.
Yeah.
He doesn't bow at anybody.
Right, yeah.
He's not wearing a camera around his neck. He's not a gardener.
Yeah, he is.
So for the 80s, this is top
He
tier.
is hate crimed, though. Because he says, I'm having a great time at this party, and then he just gets choked by the white guy.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
So there's that.
Yeah, that was definitely misplaced anger by...
Yeah, for sure.
What's his name?
Right. It's so...
That
yeah.
actor? I really liked him. He was a great villain.
Oh, God, what's his name? It's oh, God. William Hickey.
Oh, yeah.
The
old man.
I fucking love William Hickey because he played Carlton on Wings. And he... Huh?
Yeah, he's great. And he's always been that way.
Yeah,
he looks... And as I said, he looks closer to death in this film than he did during all of
like,
Wings.
how is that possible? And I'm like, well, this is an actual like film movie, and it wasn't filmed on like, a VHS recorder like all primetime television was in the 90s. He's like,
And as I don't know if we've talked about it on mic, but like I first was aware of him from My Blue Heaven.
Oh, that's right. I don't know if we've talked about it on camera, but yeah.
Where he says, it's a popover.
It's a popover. And he does, I love him so much. Like, he does this, like, in Wings, he just plays this old guy that asks these questions that there are no answers for, and it aggravates everyone to the point that they hate being around him. I think my favorite episode is when he falls down the stairs at Helen's. And then he moves into her house.
Yes.
And it fakes being.
Yes.
And there's this scene at the end where they're moving out, and he has like a bunch of cats that he moves in with him, and they're like, "Did you get all the cats?" And Joe's like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. Yep.
Oh my God.
But he just throws one out the house. He's just like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. Yep. Anyway, it's really funny.
You'll be excited to know that Mark Metcalf, who played the rich asshole
child,
whose name is apparently Akilla Metcalf, or Akilla Beckestead. The actor's name is Mark Metcalf. He was on Jag.
Yeah. He was also on Major Dad.
Yeah.
Also, his fucking IMDb picture does not look anything actually like how his face looks. I didn't click on it many times because I was like, well, that's not him.
Yeah, right.
Okay, I want to say this. I want to own this. This is something that I don't know how to actually deal with. This has nothing to do with the movie.
Okay.
Has nothing to do with anything other than I'm getting older.
Okay.
This has been happening for a while, and I really...
And this is how I find out.
Yeah, I am extremely uncomfortable with even talking about it because I'm so embarrassed by it.
Well, I'm glad you're doing it in a public fashion.
I confuse people online all the time.
Oh, no.
And by that, I mean that I will forget and I will think that I'm like, I don't even know how to describe it. Because you know how everyone's profile pictures are like so tiny?
Yes.
So if like one of them has like a lot of pink in it or something, I just associate that with a specific individual and will therefore transfer all of my feelings onto anyone with a pink and will confuse them. Yep. And I have at times almost or have commented
on the wrong
to a person as if we know each other better than we do because I just assume it's someone I know really well because and I'm like I can't see their I mean I'm bad with names anyway. And they're like I just will literally be like convinced that I'm like looking at the status of a dear friend and realize this is a person that I've barely interacted with even online, like never in real life.
Yep.
And I've been transferring all of my and then I get confused. There will be times where I'll be like, that's my best friend so and so. And I'm like,
Ope.
That's literally I've never spoken to that person.
I feel like this is somewhat in the same genre as of like
I just feel like my parents when I do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I think this is a fairly common thing, but like at family gatherings, any of the women in my family, they'd have to go through the list of all the men in the family before they got to the person they are actually trying to talk to.
Yeah. This is another embarrassing confession. My dad, I think was like at someone's funeral, like flew to New York for a funeral. And they took pictures because of the family was gathered together because whatever. This was like many years ago. This was like 15, 20 years ago, something like that. They took a bunch of pictures. They got them developed. They were sending them. I was looking through the photos and I was like, whoa, this guy's hot. And they were like, that's your literal like cousin. And I was like, oh, well, oops. He's pretty hot. I was like, they were like, why are you looking at funeral photos thinking that you're not going to be related to the people in them? And I was like, that's fair.
No, it's not.
I mean, it was like my grandpa's brother. Like I'm related to everyone there. Or something. Maybe it wasn't my grandpa's brother. Anyway.
Those of us who have never been attracted to a cousin can cast the first stone, I guess.
If you've been attracted to a cousin, let us know. Tell us below in the comments in this teaser for this episode.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah. And share this with everyone. Z is a cousin fucker. It's not true. I just said one of my cousins was cute when I was looking at photos.
Yeah, I had a total crush on one of my cousins. Stephanie or Kelly, I can't remember. And there were two sisters. One was my age. That was the one I thought was cute. Not the toddler. So, my apologies to both of you.
Whichever one.
I'm sure you're listening. I'm sure we have tons in common.
Yeah.
And
well, that's the thing. Like, I don't, yeah. Like, I don't really, yeah.
Were they? And they were actually second cousins, so it would have been fine.
They would, yeah.
Because they were.
As long as you don't get them pregnant, it's not a big deal.
That's what I'm saying. They were the kids of my cousin Teresa, who was the child of my dad's brother, Dick.
Oh, shit. What was your dad? Your dad's name was?
Donald.
And his brother's name was Dick.
Correct.
And so...
And then their sisters were Wilma and Wanda.
Oh, but your mom carried on the D. Sorry. Nope, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean it.
Get that out of your mouth.
I swear.
Get that D out of your mouth. Get my mom's D out of your mouth. Yes, and as famously, well, I don't know.
As famously.
As everyone knows. Oh, and there was the other brother, Dwayne, who's my namesake, who died. Yeah. So
I didn't know that.
My first name is Dwayne.
Uh-huh.
I have the same initials as my dad, Donald D.K. McKinney. He had no middle name, just a middle initial.
Hot.
Which was handed down to him from his father, Braxton K.
Hot.
Okay, but I was called Keith to be alliterative with my brother, Ken.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Wow.
And then my brother, bless his living soul, my nephew's middle name is Braxton. After our dad's dad. My dad's dad, not his. Oops.
I was going to say, yeah, okay. So he named his kid after your dad? After your dad?
I mean, he was raised by my dad, so.
Okay.
Bio dad.
Your bio dad.
Correct.
Not his bio dad.
Correct.
Interesting.
And his middle name is my mom's dad's middle name, Edwin.
Edwin?
Yeah.
Ugh. Sorry. That's a terrible name. Yeah.
White people.
My brother's name is Irvin.
Oh, I kind of like Irving. Is it
Irvin, not Irving.
Okay.
Irvin. And when, like...
Is that with an E or an I?
Irvin.
Owen.
And my mom hates his name because...
Oh, she didn't choose it.
She picked
This is
out
the
his
one
name.
where his dad.
His name was going to
snuck
be
it.
Michael, something. Jeremy Michael, I think, was going to be Jeremy Michael. I think that's what it was going to be. Which we all know, if your name is Michael.
Cards stacked against you.
Yep.
For being a good person.
Yeah. You boo. So, but she, pass out after she had she had a lot of blood loss or something like that. She wasn't, so she was passed out, and when she woke up, he said, I named him after me. And she was like, we literally talked about this, and you said you didn't want to pass on a horrible name to your child, and so we picked this nice, not horrible name.
But he was all drugged up.
And yeah, he was older. Yeah. And so he named
The epidural.
Yeah. So, and it's funny because that's not what my brother's name is. It goes by Sam.
It goes by Sam?
My brother goes by Sam.
That's what I heard.
It goes by Ham.
Or he gets the lotion again.
I got a piss. I got a piss too, so why don't you go ahead and empty your bowels, and then I'll empty mine right after. I didn't realize you were still chewing. I'm sorry. You're joining us live for our ASMR podcast. Here's the thing. People hate the sound of chewing.
Some people.
Yeah, and people also love the sound of chewing. I am a love the sound of chewing person. It is so that ASMR when people are just crunching into something. It's so enjoyable for me. I love it. When people this is a weird, I don't know what it is, but the sound. Now you'll be surprised by this. The sound of my mom eating peanuts. I'm always God, I want some peanuts, those peanuts sound good, they just sound so yummy. I don't know. People chewing has never been, but it's a thing where it's people.
Let the record show that Z has now not only mentioned my mom carrying the D, but also their mom eating peanuts.
Thank you.
Peanuts.
Why he gay?
Peanuts.
Ha, penis. Ha, penis. Ha, penis. penis. When Peggy Hill has to say, yeah.
No, I know.
Somebody stop him. Yeah, this is a movie, like, basically this is a weird movie. This is just a weird movie. I don't even know how to talk about it. I was a little bit worried at first because they kept doing the thing where, like, they just have these, like, one-off things in there, like, it's graduation day, and they all throw their cap in, throw their caps in the air, and, like, it comes down, like, one of them is just, like, whoosh, 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 and hits someone in the back and, like, kills them. Or, I mean, that's the implication. Like, he just goes limp in John Cusack's arm and he just, like, sets him down in a chair and they walk off. Shit like that where you're like, what is the tone of this? And then, like, everybody's getting cars. That was, like, almost funny. It's like Froggy, King, Princess, like, the names on all these cars that people are getting on graduation. And then when it gets to John Cusack, he has a steamroller. And so you're like, oh, that's funny. But you're like, it's so much, it's so much bigger that his family's so rich. Like, you would have to be so rich in order to afford that. So, like, I don't feel sorry for him because if his parents can afford that, then it's probably like.
I thought the implication was that George got it for him.
Oh. I thought the implication was that that was what his family had waiting for him. Like, he was going to be, yeah, I don't know. Because George was his friend, right? And he was like, you got to come on vacation. He's like, oh, I don't know, blah, blah. And he's like, and they get to his, and it's like that thing. And he's like, oh, yeah, let's go. Like, that's what's waiting here for me. So, like, yeah, let's go there, is what I thought.
I mean, just because you can't play basketball with a shit doesn't mean you've got no other option in life.
I guess you're right.
There you go. And nothing proves that more than being surprised with your brand new graduation wheels. That final parental confirmation that you're going somewhere in life. And this is just the vehicle to take you there.
Nantucket, huh? When can we leave?
George's grandma.
Amazing.
This is an amazing character. Also, this was like a funny version of my grandma. Like, when he walks in and he's like, Grandma, and she's like, oh my God, I missed you so much, and goes right for the granddaughter. Yep. Exactly what it was like with my grandma, except for I wasn't the one that she went after. It was my sister. Like, there was this one time that I bought my grandma a birthday card, and, like, I don't know, I did stuff for her birthday, and I did it, like, I was like 10 or something like that, and I did it all with my own money, it was one of those things. Mm-hmm. And I picked it out and I like wrote her a thing, and my sister piggybacked on it and didn't get her anything and said, can I write something in your card? And so when I gave it to her, she thanked my sister for it and not me. She didn't even thank me for it. Yeah. So I was like, okay. And it was like, yeah. So it was like shit like that. Like my grandma would like ignore me completely and like would just, like it didn't matter what I did to try to gain her favor. She didn't give a shit. But she was also like severely disabled, so like she also didn't like cook or do anything like that, and she had to be taken care of. And so it wasn't like you didn't get any sort of like warmth from her whatsoever. Not to say like disabled people cannot provide warmth. I just mean like she didn't do the grandmotherly thing of like having sleepovers or like baking desserts or anything like that. She was just like, who's gonna give me the most attention? It doesn't matter because I know who I'm gonna give the most attention to. So yeah. She just accused me of doing a lot of things like abusing her animals and shit like that.
LOL.
Which I did not do. She once accused me of breaking her cat's rib while it sat on her lap unharmed.
The grandma was played by Billy Bird, who will be very familiar to.
Yes. She was in, oh God, what else was she in?
Everything.
Oh, there's something specific. It is something. Oh, God damn it.
She was in 16 Candles.
That's not surprising.
She's got a bit in Home Alone. Dennis
That's
the
what it
Menace.
is. Home Alone. She's
in the Police Academy movies.
She was in Home Alone. That's what, because I've seen that movie. I was like, it's something that I've seen a fucking million times. It's Home Alone, where she's like in the airport and what's her name? The mom that's in. I don't know. You do know. She was...
I don't know why you can't think of that name.
God damn it. She was in... she's in all of... Whatever. She was in Schitt's Creek. She played Moira.
Maureen O'Hara.
Yes, Maureen O'Hara. She's in the airport and she's like, I'll trade you these earrings or whatever for your plane ticket. And she's like hawking, like she's just trying to get like a plane ticket to get to her kid before Christmas or whatever. And that old lady's like, oh, we should do it, George. Or
Catherine O'Hara.
Catherine O'Hara. You're right.
Maureen O'Hara's.
Oh my God. See, but this is the thing. I didn't know the difference. I was like, that sounds right. I wouldn't have guessed that, but that's fair. It's because I said Moira.
Yeah. Thanks.
You're welcome. I did it. I fucked you up.
So many people in this film.
There are so many people in this. Curtis Armstrong is in this. It's basically just a movie where they keep doing things and then other things happen.
I will say it has more of a through line, more of a actual plot than Better Off Dead.
Correct. Also, it's not that it doesn't have a plot. It's just like the plot is basically like kids hanging out for the summer. Like it's not like they get into things, they like do shit, but like the ultimate plot is like friends hanging out. So it's like different things
we made were the real journey.
So it's like there's different like plot points, but it's like I think it's supposed to be I mean, I don't think it does a great job of this because she's saying like they go there seemingly they like leave graduation to go there to Nantucket. And Cassandra is selling tickets for her show that happened August 1st. It says August 1st is the show. So I believe it's supposed to span several months because graduation would happen in May
or June.
Yeah. So like that's going to be like at least 2 months. So I think it spans like a month or two. It's supposed to.
The whole summer.
Right. Which would make sense. It does not seem like the way that it plays everything out is like this happens in a matter of like
a weekend.
3 days. Yeah. But I think it's supposed to be like
more happens in 2 days.
Right.
During Weekend at Bernie's than this. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, yeah. So it's just like it's supposed. So that's why I more mean it's like the plot is more that like kids are hanging out and like things happen around them because if it's happening over several months, it means that that nothing's really going on for them.
Well, but I think the plot, while it is fairly disposable, is just an excuse for a lot of the hijinks.
For real, yeah.
I think it adds quite a bit that, you know, it's like you're rooting for an underdog because ostensibly everything's happening to help Cassandra save her grandfather's house from being bought by the asshole who just wants to tear it down and build.
And it's interesting
houses on it for his own
No, he wants to build a lobster shack or whatever.
Well, yes, but he wants to do a whole development around it.
But I think
if they don't win the regatta, his dad's gonna stop.
No, his grandpa will take everything away from both.
Well,
of them.
I meant the elder.
Oh, okay.
If you screw it up this year, Ted, that decaying old man, your grandfather, takes everything away. Do you understand, Ted? If you don't come home with that trophy, we lose it all. No more pools, no more Ferrari. And do you know what happens then, Ted?
Don't say it, Dad.
That's right, Ted. You'll have to go to...
No!
Work!
No, Dad, don't
Work!
say it! Don't say that word, please! I'll win! Just don't say that word!
The interesting thing about that, though, is that Cassandra says that she's going to visit her uncle who's sick, and he takes care of a bunch of people. Like, he has, like, a house. Huh? Was it? Okay, sure.
I could be wrong.
I don't know. I don't think it...
We never see him.
Yeah. Well, because he dies. Like, he's dead. And so, you know...
But he dies in between our introduction to her and them arriving.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. I think there's more time that's supposed to have passed
yes.
because it looks like they get there and then they go for a drive and she's at a funeral dressed completely different. So it's like, I think it's like time is supposed to have passed, but we don't, that is not clear.
Correct.
Anyway. So like, she's like, I have to come up with the money to save the house. But it's like, she's not even doing it for her or anything that has to do with her. She's literally trying to save the house so that these people don't get displaced.
Right.
And I feel like not enough is dedicated.
She should be the main character.
Right, exactly.
Instead of
it's very weird.
Yeah.
But like that's such a noble thing to like put your money towards. It's just like I'm trying to keep these people from being homeless, which is essentially what her uncle, granddad, or whatever, her uncle, grandpa did. And that was like, but like, yeah, not enough time is given to that. And it's like,
not at all.
And like,
also, you never see the friends really.
Correct.
I mean, the occupants of the house.
Yeah. You never see them. And she's always, I didn't even realize that is what was going on at first. Because like, they keep visiting her at the house and they just sit on the porch and no one's there. It's just, it's so weird.
Oh, yeah.
What about the day where like, it's
so many threads.
There's so many things, but like,
and there's so many things done just for the gag of it, like the Godzilla thing.
Right. Well, yeah.
As mentioned, or as I mentioned while we were watching it, Arrested Development totally ripped off.
Yeah. So there's this weird thing that happens that I'm assuming they cut something out of it because it's pretty nonsensical. So they have the show, like she has her show.
Yes.
To raise money to save the house. She makes enough money to save the house, but the banker says, sorry, it's no-go because you're too late on this. And she was like, you had until today. And he's like, cool, but someone else bid on it first, so whatever. There's more to it, but who cares? The next scene is them hammering in like the future home of the lobster shack or whatever, of another lobster shack. And John Cusack and all his friends are walking up to the house, soaking wet, going, what just happened? And she's like, oh, I couldn't. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why? I was like, why are they fucking soaking wet? Why isn't it like, maybe I'm wrong, but I swear to God, I was just like, there's nothing.
No, I think that was explained, but I could be wrong. I can't remember exactly.
I feel like it wasn't because...
I think we cut away from them for so long that...
Maybe, but whatever. It's
so just... so many stupid gags that recur that aren't funny. Like George getting sat on by
oh my God. Guy. There's this... This was funny, but also not funny. In the beginning, George has a shitty car, right?
Yes. The Christmas tree?
Yeah, he's like, my mom thinks I'm irresponsible. Can you imagine that? And then like it's graduation, so it's the middle of summer. And they get to his car.
Well, the beginning of summer.
And so sometimes I can't. Other people don't know you're joking, Keith. Are those other people here with us right now?
That was good.
Thank you. They get to the car and like the Christmas tree that's like dead and like
loving it
completely like just dried out and like
still got some decorations on it.
Yeah,
by the way,
well, tinsel is like
it's got
just
some bulbs
strapped on top of the. It does. I thought it just, whatever.
I think so.
It's strapped on top of the car, meaning he never.
But it stays there the rest of the movie. So that's
honestly, at one point, or not at one point, I don't know why I said at one point. I mean, at like if I had like forgotten to do it, like this is how my very neurotypical brain works. If I forgot to do something like that for long enough, I'd be like, I don't think I can because now
it's too late.
Well, it's part of that. And now I'd be like, I'll miss it when it's gone.
Maybe that's what happened for him. We don't know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, that's why I said at some point, I was like, oh, I don't know.
This is part of the car now.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it would feel like.
Immediately, once we saw George, which is pretty immediate in the film, I was like, oh, this guy.
Yeah.
Who I'm like, oh, first of all, I'm like, he kind of sounds like Brian Doyle Murphy is what I said. And you're
You
like,
did say that.
You laughed at me outright because you're like, who the fuck is that? And I said, sorry, Murray. And you're like, what? Who? And then I said,
It's true.
Bill Murray's half brother, who's been in a fair amount of things we watched.
It's true.
And then I'm like, he's also not Tim Heidecker.
Which I said.
And then turns out he is a Murray, Joel Murray,
Mm-hmm.
the youngest of 9.
Wait, so that means he's the brother of.
Yep.
Wow. Oh, wow. That makes so much sense without making any sense.
Yeah. But if I may go through, let's go through some casting a little before we attempt to do more with the plot.
Oh, I wasn't going to do more with the
That's
plot.
fine.
Do
In
it.
the lead, we got John.
We got the Cusack. We got the lesser Cusack, as previously discussed on the podcast.
Suck that, Anne.
I said the lesser.
know.
Suck that, Anne? Girl.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, okay.
Which I was recently trying to catch up with Better Call Saul, and I was not unaware on my previous watch through that Anne Cusack plays the ex-wife of Michael McKean's character, Chuck McGill, brother to Jimmy, aka Saul Goodman. Who's Michael McKean's fabulous in it, by the way.
Michael McKean's pretty fabulous.
Yeah, I don't think I'd seen him in such an extended sort of dramatic role,
That's fair. Yeah.
and he's so good.
I think he has a lot of range. I think
He
has
really
a
does,
lot of
yeah.
range that yeah.
Underutilized.
Yeah, for sure.
Loved him in Airheads.
That ponytail.
Yeah. Okay. Cusack, Joel Murray, who kind of disappears as a character almost. You know what I mean? Like he's despite being the instigator of the initial action. Demi Moore as Cassandra, which all I can think of is Wayne's World because that's Tia Carrera's character.
Never seen it.
Oh, what?
We have discussed this so many
I believe
times.
What the fuck? Go ahead and make fun of my memory loss.
It's not a loss if you never had it.
That's fair. Cassandra. And her horrible braids.
God, she just looks like something nested in her head.
Can I just say, say here, this movie has a lot more in common with Satisfaction than I anticipated.
That's fair. Yeah.
Including the hair. Like,
Julia
Cassandra's
Roberts'
hair is, similar to whatever goes on with Julia Roberts' aesthetic.
I'm going to say this. White people who choose to do braids and or dreads in the style of not something that they should be doing, I'm going to always make fun of, period.
As you should.
And I would never apologize for mocking that. You look stupid. Your hair's not made for that. It's going to look disgusting. You probably aren't taking care of it right because it's not your culture. And also, you just look stupid and you always will. End of story. You're welcome. And you're welcome. What are you looking up, baby?
Other cast members' names?
Oh. Who plays the dog?
Sky plays Bosco.
Damn.
In Better Off Dead, you remember the mom of who hosts the exchange student that Cusack romances?
I don't remember the mom, but I remember the exchange student.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
She plays the crossing guard in that one scene where she's...
Oh, okay.
Of this movie. Oh, yeah, the younger sister who only ever says the dog's name, basically.
Yeah.
Whose character name is Squid Calamari.
Yeah, because George's last name is Calamari. I did not get that.
You didn't catch that?
No.
is played by Kristen Getz. I don't know. Wait, I was gonna say something else. Fudge. When the young rich asshole is like, she's a real hippie type.
What did you find out about this place?
Oh, Chong says he left it to his granddaughter. She's got 1 week to pay the back mortgage. And Dad, I've seen this girl. She's a real hippie type. She wears like these braids. What do they call them? Corn husks?
Corn husks. And you were like, that's good.
That's Teddy Beckerstead, played by Matt Mulhern.
Oh, that's who I was talking about. That was on Jag.
No, his dad was the one on Jag.
Yeah,
maybe they both were.
So was he. That's who I was talking about.
Okay.
That was on Major Dad. Sorry, I got confused.
Okay, we had the Beckersteads. Teddy is the younger. He looks very familiar. I'm sure he's in other 80s movies. His dad, as mentioned, played by Mark Metcalf. And then his dad, played by Hickey.
William Hickey. My boo. R.I.P.
Yeah. Oh, what else? Okay, so...
Do you remember?
Wait, hang on.
Okay.
Isn't Curtis Armstrong supposed to be related to one of them? Is he supposed to be related to George?
No.
Just friends?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought so.
Curtis Armstrong's character is named Ak.
Yep. They call him Aki.
Yeah. And because I kept wanting to make Aki and Saltfish
Yeah.
references. Big ups. Ak is a military term for anti-aircraft.
Yeah.
Also, the ACK is the fucking airport code for Nantucket.
Oh, shit.
Which you should know.
I
Can't believe you didn't know that.
No, that's fair.
Curtis Armstrong's dad, played by one of my favorites, Joe Flaherty.
Big ups again. Do you remember? I can't remember if it was like the first or second episode. Maybe it was both of them that we did ever. Where you said you wanted to do credits and I lost my fucking shit.
Those kind of credits?
And I just keep remembering that. I just keep thinking of that and laughing. It's just funny to me when you're like, I want to do credits and then you just list people. I don't know why it's so funny. It's so funny to me. Sorry.
You've got your autism and I've got mine. And together, all form the head. Okay, then we got the Stork brothers. Played by Bobcat Goldthwait.
Hey, Stark guys! Hey, what's happening? How do you do? Hi, it's been nice to meet you.
And Tom Villard.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
He's from My Girl.
Okay.
He plays one of the people in the poetry class that she takes that her teacher is, and he's like, Rocky Road a la mode. I get it. Anyway, go ahead.
I know him from a little TV show called We've Got It Made. Short-lived. It was one of those, again, I believe it was one of those where NBC or whomever tried to start primetime early. So it was like the 7:30 slot.
Shit.
They would put these like pilots or like, sitcoms that they had 4 episodes of. Anyway.
Yeah.
If I remember the premise is 2 roommates, of which he is one, and they hire a maid because they're 2 dudes.
Yep.
With money somehow.
Yeah.
And then, she's really hot. So now they have to compete over attentions.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
Of course, he's the goofy one. The other one's like the jock or whatever.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, no one wins. But he's also in a film, a horror film called Popcorn that I want to watch.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Storks. Who else? Oh, okay, the bikers. I thought were going to be a way bigger deal in the movie because of how much space they take up in
I'm
like
so
promo
glad
material.
they don't, because wow, that pink wig And also when it...
That's it. It could just be the wig, on a bike. I mean, it's no disrespect to John Matuzak. You shut up now. That's enough out of you.
It's only because of who you are and how you did that.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, and then Kimberly Foster is Kooky. Cookie. Oh, and
Cookie, won't you lend me your comb?
Jeremy Piven.
Yeah, Jeremy Piven.
Who apparently BFFs with John Cusack. They were roomies, kaboomies.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And Joel Murray, knowing this, thought he would not get the part of George. He was just like, oh, well.
Yeah.
Uncle Frank.
Oh, my God.
Played by Bruce Wagner. Where know him from? He just he just reminded me of John Grease in
100%.
Real Genius.
100%.
Screenplay credit for Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
If it was Nightmare on Elm Street 2, I'd be uber impressed.
Oh my God, speaking of, did you see this? Because I retweeted it. That guy who played the lead in 2, got sick in Mexico. Turns out it's AIDS, and now he's stuck in Mexico in a hospital right now where everybody has COVID.
Oh my God.
It's horrible.
That's horrifying.
So
Oh my God.
I should link to it, but
Yeah.
in the episode, I mean, hopefully by then he's
Yeah.
somewhere safer.
Oh my God. That's
Horrible.
terrifying. That's terrifying. Oh my God. And how heartbreaking.
Yes,
That's so awful.
that's falafel.
Omelet.
Did I name everybody?
Yeah, you did.
Why? I'm just trying to help.
Yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying. You did a good job. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Look, I'm name disabled, okay? So this was hard for me. It's hard for me because it all sounds the same. You're just saying,
It's not for you. You ever consider that?
no, I don't. I truly wouldn't know how. That face is so unfortunate.
Thank you. Let me see who played the aforementioned Chong Freed or whatever his name is.
Oh, you didn't name that?
No, I don't. Oh, and here, the maids are played by Donna Clements, Alberta Glover, and Pamela Shattuck. And that's just their credit, or Agila's maid.
Oh
All three of them have the same credit.
Oh my God.
Doing a good job. Oh, the two medics?
Oh God. Don't say gay.
Okay.
Because they didn't want to give him mouth to mouth, and they were like getting in fist fights because they didn't want to give someone that was dying mouth to mouth because it was.
Oh,
a
I thought it
dude.
was because of the chili that he ate. Oh, how about
No, because he didn't eat chili. He got farted on because someone else.
I know,
ate
but they didn't know that. They saw the anyway. Okay, so we got this scene with Tyler Negron and Ridge Hall as the gas station attendants.
Damn, that looks like one of those medical experiments that went astray.
Little girl, I'm gonna have nightmares just knowing that dog exists.
Yeah, and we never see the outcome of that.
Yeah. But they were prominent 80s comedians, stand-up comedians, not unlike Bobcat. And after the film was over, I was like, it's kind of a miracle that Tim Thomerson wasn't somehow in this film.
Yeah, I know.
And then at the very end, we get Rich Little.
Yeah.
Who, if you grew up in the 80s, was kind of omnipresent.
What was it?
I know you didn't grow up in the 80s.
No, but what did I say? What was it? When Little Richard died? Did I say Richard Little died? Because I'm that dumb.
Yeah, you did say Richard Little.
And
Donald
he said
Lee.
what? No.
Donald Lee played Trong Freen. all I got
Yeah.
for credits.
Would you recommend?
Oh, we're there already?
Yeah. We're over an hour.
We even talk about the dolphin with rabies.
Oh my God. Foam 2. The foamening. No, I don't know.
The foment. Fomenting.
Foam's giving.
Nor did we talk about how the boat of our protagonist is played by two different boats. There, scene with Joe Flaherty talking to the kid because he's a militant type. He runs a military surplus store. He does a survivalist style class, which is clearly just a Boy Scout
Right, yeah.
proxy. So he's talking to these kids on the beach, and they're running drills of like,
Oh my
this is a
God.
plane crash, and you're
Yeah.
here to save people.
Oh my God.
But his improv over like,
Now there are going to be bodies everywhere, just gushing blood, and their faces are going to be just pulled right off of their heads, and armpits will be hanging from trees. Their eyeballs are going to be sticking out of their heads, and you're going to have to just push them back in with a stick or something. And
Joe Flaherty's an SCTV alum. Loved him as the pilot in Club Paradise. You may know him as Papa on
Papa Freak from Freaks and Geeks.
Papa Freak. Not Papa Geek.
Oh yeah, Papa Geek. Well, Papa Freak and Papa Geek. Papa Freak Geek.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
She's the
freak and he's a geek.
I don't remember their name at all. The character names.
Anyway.
Yeah. Whenever he turns up, it's always a good time for me. Guaranteed. Yes, I would recommend. I feel like this is.
Yeah. I think if you like
this
80s
film
movies,
captures
for sure.
quite a few things about all the tropes of the 80s.
And I'm gonna
If I would say this is if Bernie's is the last stand of 80s tropes of like the kind of pun I was trying to do when I subtitled the episode was 80s walking or dead 80s walking was the idea that like that movie tried to use all these tropes that got established like at the beginning of the 80s,
right.
but they're clearly tired and worn out, and that's Bernie is the metaphor for that. This would be one of the films that put them up the nostril of the beginning of the 80s.
I'm gonna say this. The music is better than Satisfaction by far.
Are you talking about the music performed by the
Yes.
in-movie?
Correct.
Yes. However,
I'm not saying it's excellent, but I'm saying for 80s representation, like that sounds like something I would have listened to. I don't think it's as bad. It's not as bad as Satisfaction.
Satisfaction tries to be less. It feels like what it's trying to do is be less dated.
Mm-hmm.
The music the band plays. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to straight ahead rock and roll.
Yeah.
And they're playing songs from different
30
time
years
periods.
ago. Yeah.
And not the case in this one.
Yeah, for real. That's what I like about it, though.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're trying to sound like the 80s, and they do, and I like it better.
Yeah.
That's all.
I think she only does two.
Yeah, she only does two. It's like, because it's not a main component of the, thankfully.
But,
I like her second song a lot better. I thought
where
that
her
one,
guitar sounds fully like a synthesizer.
Yeah. I liked it because
It's also
there's
like
no
there's no Demi Moore.
right.
Probably.
There's no bones about this. There's no bones about this one. It's obviously
Big
not.
ups.
Yeah, it's obviously not Demi Moore, and it's obviously not anyone playing that music there. It's just something pre-recorded that they're all lip syncing to,
But
and I enjoy it.
there are so many needle drops in this. There's so many songs.
Drops? What does that mean?
Dropped a needle.
But what does that
A
mean?
music cue.
Oh, okay.
But with like a song.
Gotcha,
A
gotcha.
pop song. There's so many
You're like,
Beach
yeah,
Boys songs.
dropped a needle. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Good luck finding it in this haystack.
Exactly.
So many Beach Boys songs.
Oh yeah.
There's
that was-
fucking
again, so 80s. There was such a weird...
Steppenwolf, right? You got a Born to Be Wild or whatever
okay,
it is.
okay.
I don't remember which one it is. I don't think it's that one, but it's like maybe. I'm like, how did you? This must have been before you had to pay for shit because there were so many.
Or they just blew their budget on.
And they're
paying for
in.
shit. Yeah.
They play for like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Especially the Beach Boys shit, or like
There's so much Beach Boys, but that was
Dancing in the Street and
yeah. There was so much Beach Boys in the 80s, man. That maybe it's like that's when like the license ran out, so there was like a period of time where you could get it cheap or something. I don't know.
maybe they just sold their catalog cheap because everybody was on drugs or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But before their comeback with Kokomo.
Yeah. Oh God, when was that?
Late 80s?
Oh God.
Maybe late 80s?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Ask John Stamos.
Oh God. That's what it was. It was fucking Full House.
No, I think it was before Full House.
That's fine. I just mean like that was just like all about the fucking Beach Boys and like had the Beach Boys in everything all the time.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I think John Stamos was like
John Stamos.
Jan Stamos
Because
was
one of his count of his rock cooter.
I think he was like he like played with them or toured with them or something. He was like
I mean, he's in the video.
That's
Kokomo.
fine. That's fine. I mean in the show.
Okay.
In the show Full House.
see.
I think his character. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You understand what I'm saying? Anyway, yeah, I agree with you. I'd recommend because I think I think if you like 80s movies,
I
you'll
would
like
say,
this.
I wonder if you. Better Off Dead has a different kind of charm. A lot of it is
Yes.
similar. You've got Cusack being Cusack.
Yes.
You've got Curtis Armstrong being Curtis Armstrong.
Yes.
You unfortunately have Savage Steve Holland doing animations in both.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I hated him more in this one.
Yeah, for sure.
Who cares?
Love is blind. Oh, shit.
Oh, it was so painful.
Yeah, it was very painful and nonsensical, and it didn't do
Didn't
anything.
help the plot at all.
Didn't help the plot, and it didn't even.
Distracted.
It didn't even coincide with it, though.
Correct.
That was the thing. It didn't even
Very forced.
mesh up with anything the main character was about. Like he just carries a sketchbook around, but he's not like, I don't know. They just really didn't.
Also, a running joke is that his nickname is Hoops.
No, I think that's his actual name.
Whatever. Who cares?
Whatever.
But that he, everybody expects him to be good at basketball, but he's horrible.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's
I don't-
not really a
I
good
don't-
running joke.
Yeah, it's not a good running joke because I didn't get it. Because apparently he doesn't play basketball.
Apparently.
Which I thought, I don't know. I was so confused about the
Yep.
basketball stuff. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
But if you want some coked out 80s shit, this is there, baby.
This is the one. This is one for
You can't be too allergic to puns
Oh.
and on the nose jokes.
Jeremy Piven eats a dog's tongue.
A stuffed dog something. Yeah, that's the other thing. There's a fucking Odie in this. There's a fucking Bullwinkle. And like, what is the licensing? Is this before
Yeah.
you had to license shit?
Right.
Or are these things still being litigated? Is this why Savage Steve Holland is directing young adult television to this day?
I don't wanna be on the beach, no fun. I don't wanna be on the beach, no fun. I don't wanna be on the beach. I don't wanna be on the beach, no fun. No, this is no way to spend the summer. I've got sand cake on my feet. I gave my ice cream to a shark, and now I've got nothing to eat. No fun. I don't wanna be on the beach. No fun. I don't wanna be on the beach. No fun. No. I don't wanna be on the beach. I don't wanna be on the beach. No fun.
Get my mom's D out of your mouth.